That's right. We are live. Welcome everyone to the bottom of the rabbit hole. I am here with our resident advisor, Vesuvius. Say hello to the class.
Hey, welcome everybody. I see Kavion is there, so thanks for joining us. I know this is a late one, but so much good stuff today.
Yeah, we got a late night, but the way and the speed in which they were dropping Matrix posters today, it seemed like it would be wrong not to go live and get caught up on all the news. And we're going to start off with these posters because, like I said, there's a bunch to go through here. um and some posters dropped like right after our live stream last week, right? Like the next day. I mean, it feels like they've posted one every day.
Yeah, I think there was nothing yesterday, Sunday, because I was looking and I was trying to be ready. But it's almost like that scene where Mifune is fighting the Sentinels and they just swarm and all take him out. And it's like just trying to keep up with them, trying to get all of like the TV spots across all accounts and everything. It's hard.
Yeah, no, and yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I want to I like to get the negative stuff out of the way. Before I get into that though, if you're joining us now, please like the stream and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'm going to go ahead and tweet this out to the Twitter matrix to let everybody know that we are live right now, because that's what I was going to parlay into. Like I said, let's get the negative stuff out of the way first. um One of the reasons why I tweet that we're live, not just to reach as many people as we can, but because the notification, whatchamacallit, the notifications on YouTube are terrible. Like, people tell me all the time, like, oh, I didn't get notified that you guys were live, and I follow and I like the bell and I subscribed and nothing. Well, the same thing goes with comments, and I've seen a couple of comments, not the majority by any stretch of the imagination, but I've seen a couple of comments that oh, you didn't comment back, or you used to comment on everybody's comment, and now you don't do that anymore. Well, I've always been upfront with YouTube's comment engine being trash on their end, which is why I always recommend that people follow both me and Vesuvius on Twitter and Instagram. Right, you're at Vesuvius MXO on both, correct?
Yeah, on just about everything.
And I'm at NeoMatrixology, and I say that mostly because the YouTube comment engine is not good. Like, I don't get notifications for, like, I hardly get the comment notifications. So I go in there and check when I can, but there's a chance that I didn't even see your comment. So that happens. That's a thing. But then, the other side of the coin is, let's be realistic. With the hype train of Matrix Resurrections, there are more comments than there were 2 years ago. And I definitely appreciate everybody who's been commenting for that whole run. And I try to take time to say what's up to everybody. But again, you got to be positive. Like, if somebody's coming at me with a whole bunch of negative energy, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. I have no problem blocking comments and removing comments that are negative. I mean, and Mod, shout out to you guys. You guys doing a great job in the chat room. But yeah, there's new faces here. So there's just a lot more to go through than there once was. And again, YouTube has their rules. We follow their rules. No transphobic comments, no homophobic comments, no racism. We're not tolerating that. YouTube isn't tolerating that. Yeah, their bots can't find everything. But if my mods see it, if I see it, that's gone automatically. Like, that's not even, a thought. We're going to get rid of that stuff. So again, I just wanted to get that out of the way early. But yeah, on the positive note, what reminded me of all this, like Vesuvius was saying, when these posters have been coming out, people are tagging me, and I love that. Like, I appreciate everybody who is sharing news, and that was part of this experiment, if you will, was to crowdsource information. I mean, I'm only one dude, Vesuvius is only one dude, but when we come together, we've got twice as much, and that's how teamwork works. So yeah, thanks everybody who's been helping us stay up to date on everything. I definitely encourage that. And again, when the news is hitting, we might be getting a lot of messages, so I might not be able to get back to you right away. But if you're keeping us informed, that is definitely appreciated. So once again, make sure you're following both me and Vesuvius on Twitter and Instagram, because again, too, Vesuvius has daily content. So like today, for example, I was a little late on getting to the posters that dropped today, but Vesuvius was on top of it. So if you're following both of us, you're not going to miss any official news. That's pretty much straightforward there.
Yeah, when I saw that Erendira Ibarra poster, and that was the first one I saw, immediately I think I either took a screenshot or copied the link and hit you up in Discord, just because it's Erendira. So, and then I was sitting down eating lunch, and I'm like, I gotta call this dude. So I figured after the second call, when you're not responding, you're dealing with your real world stuff. So
yeah, real
all in due
world always
time.
comes first. Right, and that's the other side of the coin. Real world always comes first. But yeah, I mean, as much as I would love to do this full time, as much as that is a stretch goal in the right now in the real world, I still have to like work and pay bills like everybody else. Legacy Zero says 30 days, baby. Yes, right. Well, and technically it's after midnight, so less than 30 days now. Yeah, we're in the home stretch now, and we can tell with the drop of poster after poster after poster. There's some TV spots we're gonna go over as well. I'm trying to think, is there any more intro stuff, or can we start getting into these posters? Or
Oh, intro stuff.
I
Oh,
say,
well,
yeah, I say, is there anything else
shout,
today?
shout to Gammy. Shout to Gammy. Old school EPN from Syntax. Also active Discord. Very knowledgeable dude about the Matrix.
Yeah, you just walked into the live stream that's hopefully going to catch us up on all the advertising and Matrix media that has happened since our last live stream. In fact, that reminded me, there was one more thing I wanted to get ready. How am I going to find it though? Grr. Did I retweet it? Please tell me I retweeted it. I did. There you go. Found it. Okay, so we'll deal with that later. Oh, right. So right now I'm trying to just pull up one more news tweet that happened this past week so that we can share that on the screen with everybody. All right, there you go. I got it. So let's go with the posters. I'm gonna try to do this in order. Well, it's gonna get crazy because today I don't know what the order was today. Like I said, by the time I stepped on the scene, there was just like 8 new posters.
I think the number is 8.
Yeah, and that's what I was asking you. Like literally daily marketing at this point. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much posting something new every day. That's why I was like, do you want to do this today or tomorrow? Because I figured if we waited till tomorrow, there'd be something else to add to this list.
And they all dropped, I think, on their personal accounts. So Neil Patrick Harris dropped his analyst picture. Priyanka Chopra dropped her still unconfirmed character's title name. So all of them, all 8, at just about the same time.
But one did confirm a name, and we're going to get to that. So let's go back in time. Let's go back a couple days. Yeah, this question popped up. It said, do you think some of the other captains will be in this movie? For example, Captain Niobe. So yeah, we know Jada Pinkett Smith is in it. To what degree and what role her cameo, or rather how much screen time her cameo is going to get, is yet to be determined. I don't think a lot, because she was announced pretty late, and she's not on any of the posters here. And in the films, Niobe had a pretty I guess what's that, co-starring, backgroundy character, not a main character.
Yeah,
so supporting, thank you, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, now after that, We don't know for sure who the captain of the Nemesine is yet, and yeah, that's on. I don't know that we're gonna get more than those two captains. We will see how much real Zion is shown. Let's share the screen here. So, okay, so when we did our last live, this was the poster, in the thumbnail, the poster of the day for that day. But then I believe the next day, okay, so was it Warner Brothers Spain? Who posted the second one? I don't remember.
There might have been an India one in there, and then
No, India was last because they posted two, but this was the second one. I don't remember.
oh
Maybe
yeah,
this might have been Warner UK. Maybe.
yeah. I call this one the relationship goals
Yeah,
poster.
this is the relationship goals poster. Now, it was brought to my attention that Neo and Trinity look very CGI animated in this. And I think you pointed out that they're going down what looks like
Subway.
yeah, subway or train station steps here. So with that said, and this isn't the only shot, but there are things that are giving me some real heavy construct vibes. But yeah, the subway is a big deal when it comes to that. But there's other stuff that make me feel that way. Now, when somebody brought up the whole CGI look of Trinity, I think it was Franz actually in a comment. Right. So what popped in my head when he brought up the look, I immediately remembered, seeing the leaked pictures of Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss in Berlin wearing the CGI gear stuff.
Oh yeah, we speculated they might be doing a video game
Right. Potential video game. I mean, maybe reshoots, right?
reshoot.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, so, this might be hinting to some CGI Neo and Trinity in this film. I'm very curious about that now. Seeing this poster specifically. Also, you'll notice that all the buildings are in code behind them. The shapes of the building have code running through them. So that's pretty cool. Is there anything else about the return to the source? Because right, we talked about the tagline there. This uses the same return to the source tagline. We talked about that in the last live. But did anything else jump out at you in this one?
Just general, there does seem to be a lot of different code in all of the posters. The other thing is return to the source in the Matrix Online. I don't know if this part's canon because it was in Rarebit's outline after the game had shut down, but Trinity actually did return to the source.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to that whole rare bit thing too. Now real quick, I want to go back to this poster because it was pointed out, I believe, on Discord. If you zoom in, there is a slash in Neo's shirt. Looks like maybe a knife stab or wound or something punctured his shirt there, which I didn't notice the last time we talked about it. Can you see it? Do I have to zoom in more?
I can see it, so I'm
Yeah,
just going to throw
right
out a
there.
couple of things. Let me just throw out a couple of random thoughts, or not random, but initial thoughts. The twins had knives. Also, that Jesus parallel because he got stabbed in the stomach. I believe he got stabbed on the right, but I'm not 100% on that. And oh yeah, call back to Matrix Online, Master Knife Thrower, which was like an ability tree that was like super popular.
Yeah, because wasn't that like part of the assassin tree?
Yeah, Assassin was like everything,
Yeah.
but interesting, no blood.
Well, yeah, if you got blood, they're gonna block that
Yeah.
picture in a lot of places. So
Do we know what is on Trinity's necklace?
that I don't know. I see the like string of her necklace, but what, like, if there's a pendant or something down there, I don't know. That I can't see.
Also, I want to point out that Yaya's Morpheus is wearing pretty much round lenses, but they're not the armless Morpheus sunglasses that we're used to that clip on the bridge of the nose. So these actually have arms that go over the ears.
Right.
So cheap imitation of Morpheus.
And what was that theory that was it that only the good guys have round glasses and the bad guys have square glasses? And I was like,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I'm about to say, because I was like,
That's a tough one for me.
I say, does that mean APOC was in the middle because he had both? Like, it was. I mean, that's what I was gonna say, because Neo and Trinity they kind of have like that merge of round and rectangular. I don't know that it's actually a thing, but what I do
But
notice,
they would.
but
They
what I do notice here is that Bugs and Morpheus both have like obviously round glasses, like circles. And then Arendira would be the one that has like the most unique shape out of this group.
Yeah, the cat's eyes glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Love them.
Now can I zoom out of here so we can go to the next one, right?
Yaya's costume department needs 5 Oscar nominations. Yeah, all the different costumes, not particularly that purple one from that last poster, but incredible. Absolutely incredible. Looks really nice.
Okay, so then after that last one, this I believe was the first Warner Brothers India poster. And it's got like some serious Revolutions and Reloaded poster energy going on here with the black and green color scheme, along with that's the thing. And those other Revolutions and Reloaded, it wasn't a silhouette, but it was definitely hard black and green. I do like the silhouette. And
in this one,
yeah, go ahead.
where their shoulders meet, there's like that glare, and that they also had that in one of the Revolutions posters where the cursor was like, it was like mid blink, and it was the poster where everything that has a beginning has an end, and there was a cursor at the bottom. I know because I copied that, so it stands out. And then there's one down below to Trinity's right, depending on which way she's facing. But our right.
Yeah, it definitely appears to be like behind them. But yeah, that's our right as far as the lower glare. What I also noticed here is, this shot, it appears to be a similar code rain, the big droplets from the final fight, the brawl with Smith at
Super
the end.
Burly Brawl.
Yeah, at the end of Revolutions there. So looks like they're resurrecting that rain scheme as well. And then again, this one has the tagline of Return to the Source. And Lorenzo, I totally agree. I think India got the best posters to drop, because this was their next one, which has Neo and Trinity. He's got what did you call it? The Force? What'd you call it? Force hands? No, that's not it.
The Source powers. I think I'm a huge Matrix fan. Okay, I like Star Wars, but Star Wars is an easy, almost 1-to-1 comparison. Okay, they've got the Force, and Neo has the Source.
Yeah, it's the Source field.
Where they get their powers. Yeah. I mean, we can go Karate Kid and go wax on, wax off.
Yeah, he's definitely flexing the Source push right now. What I liked about this, there's this, I don't know, it gave me like a dubstep kind of vibe, right? Visually. I like this one. I feel like, like you said, I think India, like these two posters, I think were probably the coolest two, compared to the first two. I don't know that I have a favorite out of the 4, but just like, I felt like the India posts from Warner hit different. This one I noticed does not say Return to the Source. But I definitely like the color scheme. It's almost like they were calling back to the 4K DVD cover.
Oh yeah, where it was like white with you know, a high contrast subject.
You know what I'm saying? So that brings us to the conclusion of the posters that dropped last week, and then today we got our first taste of the individual character posters. These aren't in any particular order, but here we have Trinity, and I noticed that they say re-enter now with the individual character posters. Now, somebody in our chat said that you can see her necklace better here, but I still have no idea what's going on.
I looked on this one. I zoomed in. It looks like there's a knot. Honestly, it kind of looks like something she picked up off of Etsy.
I'm about to say, are those earbuds?
Holy crap! Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be something new.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not.
so
I don't.
she's got two.
Right? I mean, I don't know what that is. You tell me what that is. That's as close as it's gonna let me get.
It's a Cryptos necklace.
I figured that's where you were going the first time, but
No. I when I first zoomed in on that, I thought, like, is that a key or something? It doesn't look like a key here. It looks like the strings drop down. So I don't know. I have no idea.
yeah, I think there's something lower there, but they're not going to let us zoom in that close. But yeah, I definitely I'm definitely getting some earbud vibes off of that. Right. So what we're going to notice change here as we go from poster to poster is the color of the code. I mean, everybody's got, not everybody, because there are some that share color schemes, but you know, so I'm noticing that Trinity's code is like green with this kind of yellow highlight to it, right? I'm also noticing that the code is way different than what we usually see. Like the characters are all kinds of crazy.
It looks like you tried to open up a picture in Microsoft Notepad.
Yeah.
But interesting. So we zoom in there, and that's her left hand. And one of the first leaks that I had heard was that she was married with kids. No wedding ring. Now, I don't know how pertinent that detail is, but
well,
you heard it here
what
first.
I was gonna say. Well, what I was gonna say is when it comes to poster posing, you know, we've seen that picture where Neo and Trinity are dressed like they're in the Matrix, but they're in the real world, because that was a poster, right? You know which image I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Like they're wearing the all black trench kind of looking stuff, but they're in like the Nebuchadnezzar or something. You made a meme about it. I think it's like proof that the Matrix.
Oh yes, yeah. This set. Okay, sorry. Yeah, the set photo of them in their Matrix outfits.
Oh, so that's just a set photo. It's not a poster. I thought it was a poster.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a poster, but yeah. So I took that, and of course, you know, I hate the Matrix within a Matrix theory as it stands with the original trilogy. So I took that poster and, like a smartass, put proof that there is a Matrix within a Matrix. And of course,
no, you know, so
there is not.
Well, right, there is not. As I say, you gotta be clear, because the sarcasm doesn't always come across in text.
No, but I think the flat Earth theory meme summed that up. If you believe in a Matrix within a Matrix theory, I'd put money down you're a flat earther.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we're here and discussing these things, so that for people who don't want to sign up to such theories, they've got an alternative. But there are plenty of places that support that kind of theory. So let's go on to the next. Like I said, there's no real order here, so let's just see what's next. Next we have Yahya. I do believe he's the only one who has this color scheme, and that's, you know, this, like, it matches his suit, but he's wearing an orange suit, so he's got an orange code with a yellow highlight to it. I believe, what is that? Okay, yeah, he's got a handgun and the automatic weapon.
Yeah, the submachine gun.
Yeah.
Kind of looks a little 70s pimpish.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say this. This is almost a callback to his the Get Down. Is that what it's called? I think the Netflix movie that I watched with him in it. But yeah, it also looks like he's running up the wall here.
Yes.
So we're defying and bending the rules of the Matrix in this shot. Very Matrixy.
Yeah, we see Bugs do that behind him. So I don't know if he learns that from her or what. Definitely in the trailer, you get a little blue pill vibe from him.
So
But
real quick, let's just clear this up. He said Trinity is married ? No, so we don't know. We're not saying that we're sure either way. But do you remember where you got that leak?
I think that was the World of Geekdom leak, but don't leave the channel yet because I've heard 3 different leaks and they're not all consistent with each other, and it definitely some telephone game going on with those. And there's some stuff that I've heard that is just outright um, disproved with seeing the trailer, such as, oh, there's no agents anymore in the Matrix. Well, we see an agent in the trailer, so
yeah, and we're gonna get to the TV spots next. We're gonna go over the TV spots in a little bit once we get to the posters.
But yeah, I mean that's a the use of color is like really stands out.
Yeah, and I got to imagine that they had all this stuff planned, but it almost felt like when the posters were dropping, like because people were complaining like, oh, these aren't good, blah blah blah. They're like, oh yeah, hit him with another one.
And
So I mean that's how you do it though. Like I've always believed going back to like music industry experience, like I was always like, okay, yeah, you want the single to be hot, but you want the follow-up to be hotter than the one that came out before. You know what I mean? Like it just works out better. You don't want to come out the gate with your hottest thing ever and then not be able to do better than that in the follow-up. But everybody's got their own technique. So is there anything else you saw in here? I mean, I'm trying to zoom in and still got the round glasses here. Everybody's got the same crazy code in the posters.
Yeah, the code and that kind of blur looks nice. I think it's like a swirl or something. I actually did one up on my Photoshop. It reminds me of that scene in the Goliath comic when the world kind of melts and drips away.
Yeah,
Yep. It kind of looks like we got something like that going on, but who knows? Interesting. It's a nice effect. So he's got blue on the inside of his jacket. I always look to see what they got on the inside of the jacket. I don't know if it makes sense or leads to anything, but just taking notes.
Okay, so Gammy says they're promo materials, so you never want to read much in, but that's the only poster with the gold code. So that's what I was saying before. But this is, I think there's a but that goes to that. It's orange with the gold highlights. Like you said, they're using the like blur effect or the drip effect or whatever you want to call it here. And there's more yellow in that. But that's saying even in the Trinity poster, if you zoom in, there's yellow highlights on it. Yeah, it's mostly green. But, there's some yellow behind that. So I wouldn't say that it's the only one with gold code in it. But let's go to another one and see what the next color scheme is.
Hey, Lorenzo. Oh, yeah.
Well, this is not. Hold on, because that's got the comment there. So I wanted to give me a
Lorenzo,
second.
if you cosplay in that suit, I need some pictures.
Let me find it.
So the first one I saw was that next one with Arendira, and I freaking jumped out of my seat.
I want the actual poster, not the comment, because we're gonna get to the comment after looking at the poster. Here we go. Okay, so here's the poster, and yeah. So right there's the tattoos you were talking about before. You can see she got the crazy earrings that go with the headpiece. Like I said, the cat's eye glasses. Hers, however, is a purple drip effect. When I zoom in, I don't see any gold behind her code's highlights. Am digging the outfit. Am digging the matrixy pose. I don't think she's running up a wall in this shot specifically. Um, I think they just kind of tilted her angle. But it's a great shot. I think it's probably my favorite pose out of all the posters. Like the others, it says re-enter. Um, is there anything specifically from the visuals here that jumped out at you that you wanted to comment on?
Um, Outside of the context of the Matrix, I got a lot. A lot is jumping out. Yeah. Inside the context of the Matrix, yeah, I like the dual handguns. That was kind of a thing that I don't think very many characters did the dual handguns except for Neo at the end of part one. I can't recall anybody else. Morpheus had dual submachine gun in the code room fight, but yeah, so she's using two guns. Also, she's got the pose where like her arms are outstretched. It almost looks like, the cross. So it makes me a little curious because we speculated that she may not be what she seems, but this one kind of gives a different vibe.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get into the color themes in a little bit too, because I'm starting to backpedal what I said on that first poster. But before we get to that, what Aaron Deere did do, which no one else did, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess she was allowed to do this, because everybody's been really, really on point about not violating any NDAs, right? That first image that came up here, that's why I wanted to show the poster first, because here she says in her Instagram post of this poster, she says, "My heart is exploding with joy and gratitude. I am so happy and blessed to introduce you all to Lexi, one of the most challenging and beautiful characters I have had the opportunity to live in. At the Matrix movie is coming to theaters worldwide December 22nd. So she tells us her character's name is Lexi. I don't know that we've gotten that information anywhere else. I mean, I don't think like the World of Geekdom League mentioned her by name, right?
No, they didn't. We didn't know her name, or at least I didn't know her name. Had no ideas what her name could be, but it is maybe coincidental or maybe not that first poster with all the five characters on the poster. There was Neo Trinity. We learned Bugs' name. We know Yaya's Morpheus, and she was in the background, and now we know her name.
Yeah, so Lexi it is. Her character's name is Lexi. I'm glad she was able to share. Um, Also, shout out to the legendary at Murray Close, who's the photographer who took the he takes all the stills for the Matrix franchise. So they brought him back for this as well. Um, I see your comment here, right under Miss Ellen Hallman. So look at you in good company. Um, so
Yeah,
let's. What were you gonna say?
Arendira liked my comment. What did I say anyway?
That you literally jumped out of your seat.
Yes, I did. If I was drinking a soda, it would have been coming out of my nose. Yeah, I would have had one of those television sitcom moments where you stand up and spit it out. But yeah, my goodness.
So what I was gonna say here is, if you noticed, like I said, Yaya has that orange colored in his, right? And Aaron Dira has a purple color in hers. As far as I know, I don't think there was any other posters with the purple color, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So let's go to a different poster. I guess I gotta zoom out so I can. Okay, so here's the Jonathan Groff poster. And if you notice, his has a blue theme. When you zoom in, the code is blue. I guess a little purple highlight behind it in the blur, but no gold for sure. What shape would you call those glasses?
Oh boy, um, reminds me of like a beach. To tell you the truth, I can't remember exactly why, but they don't look like agent glasses. I mean, it kind of looks like an agent, but just not quite. There's no tie. There's no tie clip. There's the glasses are wholly different.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't seen the film yet, so we don't know exactly what role Jonathan Groff is playing. But I think this round of posters, I think, debunks that glasses theory uh, for sure. Um,
Can we scroll down? Because I kind of want to see what's on his wrist. His left.
looks like an Apple Watch. No, I'm kidding. It's a watch.
Anything significant about it?
I can't see the face.
Did the agents in the original trilogy have watches? I don't recall anything like that.
That's a good question.
Gammy, what do you think?
Now, in the trailer, he's wearing a black suit, correct?
I think blue. There's one where he's against a window and kind of turns around and looks and smiles. Kind of also sitcom-y. I think that's blue. I think the one where he's sitting and we see the Smith bust behind him on the desk, I think that one might be either a dark blue or black.
But either way, the color scheme of this is definitely blue. So let me find another one, unless there's something else you wanted to point out here on this one.
Well, the gun.
So it's a Desert Eagle, I would imagine.
Looks like it. I mean, looks very much like the agent gun, the FM 1500 Magnum. As titled in the Matrix Online game. Now, that spot in the trailer where Neo kind of seems to be rubbing his fingers together and almost concedes while he's at gunpoint, that character who is pointing the gun is very blurred, but you can tell that they're wearing blue.
Can you see what kind of gun it is?
Oh yeah, because they do the bird's eye view, and it kind of mirrors the Agent Smith hallway shot where he kills Neo. So it looks like it's the same gun.
Okay, so you're guessing that Jonathan Groff is the one holding the gun to Neo in that scene.
I mean, I thought that immediately due to the leaks, but this is kind of some supporting evidence.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, honestly, when I saw it before. All right, so let me go see if I can get. Wow, there you go. So before we go back, let's go forward. Lexi. Oh, Keanu Reeves. So here we have the color scheme with the green with a blue in the blur. And
Is there any gold?
I was just gonna say, when I zoom in, I don't see any gold highlights here. So far we got gold highlights with Trinity and Morpheus, but not with Neo himself. So that's a little interesting. I don't see any slash marks in his shirt in this one.
I don't know if it's relevant yet, but it does seem that Keanu's left hand is more prominent. So it's the right hand is kind of obscured by code. The left hand is out in front. I don't know if he's left-handed in real life. I don't know if it's a choice or coincidence. On that first poster, his left hand was up. I think in the Matrix 1999, when he stops the bullets, it was his left hand. I cannot remember about Reloaded in the Chateau. But I wonder if there is any significance to that, or if I'm just reading into it too much.
What we say, there are no coincidences in the Matrix. So
I'm kind of setting something up too, but we'll get to it later.
Now I stopped here because we hadn't seen this one, but that's the one I was looking for. I was looking for Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
Because it's interesting to me, he's got his blue glasses on here, but his code is actually red. There's definitely a red theme here.
It looks kind of pinkish. The background, like it's kind of glowing.
I don't know that I would call those gold highlights. I mean, it's, I guess, a little yellow in there. Yeah, I don't know. But obviously, he's sitting in his analyst psychiatrist chair. Um, yeah, now I thought, and the reason why I wanted to do this first is because was there anything else you wanted to point out with Neil Patrick Harris? I already pointed out the blue glasses.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a sympathetic expression on his face, kind of contrasting to how he was in the trailer. Saying, "Hey, we don't use that word here." So it almost looks like he's, I mean, the hands too. It looks like he's plotting.
Right. No, I can see that. The plotting energy.
Is he wearing a watch? I'm trying to pick any detail.
His actually does look like an Apple Watch. Yes, he's wearing a watch.
Oh, sweet. I wonder if he has my animated background.
Your rainbow code.
I should make one for him.
Now, the reason why I wanted to come to Neil Patrick Harris is because I wanted to show that one before we got to this one, and that's the Priyanka Chopra Jonas. Because to me, it would appear there's more blue in her blur, but the general color scheme, I think, overall matches Neil Patrick Harris's.
Oh, she's got so many colors going on with that top.
Well, that's the other thing I noticed too. The outfit that she's wearing in this picture, she's got kind of like, let me see if I can scroll, and then she's kind of got like Zion-y boots on, right? Do I have to remove the comment? Can you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like that you're throwing my theory away about the Sati, about her playing a new version of Sati or grown-up Sati.
I didn't pick her wardrobe, dude. I'm just saying those are very Zion-looking boots. Now, the reason why I wanted to show this after Neil Patrick Harris is not just because of the color scheme matching on the overall poster, but in this shot, she's not wearing glasses. Now, in the trailer, when we see her, she's not wearing this outfit and she has on red glasses. So I don't think it's a coincidence that her poster has the same color scheme as Neil Patrick Harris's. And then in the trailer, she's got red glasses and he's got blue glasses. I think that they are very specifically positioned to be opposites.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah,
who are they playing?
The Zion looking outfit is really throwing me off. If we're gonna go theory, potential spoiler alert, because none of us have seen the movie. Yeah, I do think that she is positioned to be an adult Sati as an Oracle replacement, and that Neil Patrick Harris, while not the architect for the purposes of this film, would be the architect replacement, if you will. Again, that's just my conjecture based on looking at the opposites in the glasses and trying to put these pieces together. But like I said, her outfit in this is definitely throwing me off. But it's also just a promo poster. She might not wear this outfit in the movie. So that could be part of the pump fake. I do like she rocks the I think, are those bumper nuts?
Yeah, I was thinking that they don't quite look like it. I wonder if they're like a traditional Indian hairstyle.
Yeah, I would definitely defer to the comments for that because I don't know for sure. But we've got an international enough crowd that somebody might know for sure if there's any specific cultural relation to her hairstyle like that. Is there anything else in this poster that you wanted to point out that I didn't notice here?
Not really. I mean, the shirt does give Zion feels to it. It's got like some buckles on it and some leather. Just it's not worn. It's not torn. I'm not all that like familiar and with like Indian culture, so I couldn't even say like, oh yeah, this is like an Indian, uh, you know, style. But it's a nice. I mean, it's a nice wardrobe.
I don't know. Maybe Sati gets freed from the Matrix. We'll see. All right. So then the last character poster, individual poster that we didn't go over yet is Bugs. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Right. So here she's got the same glasses on. You know, they got a blue tint here. We can zoom in and see that her code and color scheme is blue with the purple highlight and the blur or the drip. She's got two guns that are not the same as Jonathan Groff. However, her color scheme is similar to Jonathan Groff. They both have a blue color scheme. So I'm very, very curious to your thoughts on that, because it definitely made me feel a different kind of way about one of the things I said from the first poster.
Well, with the blue hair, I mean, it's kind of screaming Cypherite, which is a character who longed to go back to the Matrix like Cypher did, but wound up staying to kind of fight alongside the machines. They were also spies, and they were very deceptive. It was actually a really cool story arc with how the Cypherites came to be. If this, and her lenses are like they're like a deep blue.
Yeah, no, I think that might be part of the effect here. I'm not sure about that, but I didn't notice that much blue before, so that's why I'm guessing that's, you know, post in the Photoshop. But yeah, no, I figured you would go to the Cypherite thing with the blue, which I don't disagree with. They were blue pill pushers, if you will. They believed in the blue pill ideology and pushed their blue pill propaganda all over the Matrix Online. But I'm more interested in the fact that she has the same color scheme as the Jonathan Groff poster. Because there's Jonathan Groff. There's lots of blue in his glasses. All right, in this poster, I was saying how Aaron Deere is kind of in that Cypher looking space. But as you mentioned, Bugs is the one that has the Cypher color scheme going on with her hair, and everything is blue with her. Now, as it's been pointed out, you know, in the trailers, it appears that she's leading Neo. So it'd be weird because, I mean, you were EPN, so you might know more about, I guess, sci-fi culture than I did. But you know, there was that whole thing like, oh, what did the kids say, that they're disrespecting Neo and
Yes.
all this stuff. So you know what I mean, like you know, Cypherite. I mean, Cypher's in the name, so wouldn't these guys consider Neo as an enemy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah, but
guess
they could be using deception to get close to him and earn his trust. Also, if there's some speculation, and this came from the official Matrix movies, either Instagram or Twitter or both, where it said a new Matrix 4-1. So if he's trapped in like a construct or a partition within the Matrix, and it's like a paradise or something that will quell him, and he now meets Trinity and he's trying to get out and reawaken, then they could be sent in to like, hey, we're gonna help you, but they're not actually helping them.
So then that would point to like her whole crew being suspect, right? Like she'd
Yeah.
have a Cypherite crew.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What's the name of the ship? The Nemazine.
Yes, Nemesine.
So maybe they're trying to suppress memories instead of awaken them.
Interesting.
So Gammy says that agents do not wear watches.
You asked about the previous films, if the agents were wearing watches.
Yeah. And we do see Jonathan Groff, or at least it certainly looks like him, in a fight scene with Neo in like what looks to be a subway or train station or sewer or something.
Yeah, I think it's the subway. I think it's, the callback to the fight with Smith at the end of the first one. So, are there any other poster points that you wanted to bring up? The biggest things for me was the announcement from Arendira Ibarra herself on her Instagram page that her character's name is Lexi, and then after that was the shared color schemes between Priyanka Chopra and Neil Patrick Harris, and then the shared color scheme between Jonathan Groff and Jessica Henwick. Now that said, now that I just worded it like that, because I believe that Priyanka Chopra and Neil Patrick Harris are going to be opposites, perhaps Bugs and Jonathan Groff's character share color schemes because they are going to be opposites. If that's the case, then I could still stand by Miss Lexi being the live action version of Torima.
Yeah, Tarima, she certainly got a hairstyle that would be akin to Tarima, who was a traitor and a murderer and a psychopath. A very interesting character that went on to be known as Vale.
At least there's less than 30 days before we find out the answers to these questions. So that's exciting. It is a very exciting time. Oh wow, we're like already almost at an hour and we haven't even done the TV spots yet. So if you're just now joining us, please make sure you like the stream. I don't have any more poster stuff to you. I think we're ready for the TV spots unless you got anything else you want to add here.
No, let's do it. Let's move on.
All right, let me get that going here. Get all these posters down.
There's a couple of magazines that are coming out too over in Europe.
That's what we forgot. Where would I even be able to go on Twitter to pull that up?
Anywhere. My Instagram feed is, I can scroll past 10 pictures and 8 of them are the same, if not similar. It's good because the Matrix is getting shared around.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but like now that we're live, this is why I try to get all that stuff before we start talking, because now that we're like, even though, like you said, I'll see it 12 times on my feed in one day, but now that I want to show everybody, I'm not going to be able to find it.
So I wonder how this works. If I retweet something, right, that keeps the source of the tweet, and that those numbers add up for the source. But if I screenshot something and share it on Instagram, which I try not to do because I feel like that source isn't getting shared. Like I'll share it on my story because that keeps the source, but I don't screenshot things on Instagram because and then re-upload them because I kind of want the numbers to accumulate, particularly for the Matrix. I want the numbers to do well. So how does that work?
Oh man, if you're asking me how Twitter feed algorithm works, I have no idea. But what I was going to ask you was, because you brought up the French magazines, what's the name of the magazine?
I have no idea.
Do you see what I mean? Like I said, I've seen this picture like 15 times over the last 2 days.
Let me check Discord.
Somebody posted it there?
Probably. If anybody wants in on the Discord and wants Matrix Talk 24/7, discord.com/the-matrix. Yeah, we got actually everything here in the Discord. We got the trailers, we got probably spoilers too.
Okay, I found one of them. This wasn't the one that I was thinking about, but I'll take one over nothing. And shout out to McTurnan Story. He posts a lot of good official stuff. Just checking real quick to see if I can find the other, the popular one. There it is.
Which
Found
one?
it.
Uh,
It's Premiere is the name of the French magazine.
yeah, I should have known that.
Let's do that one first because that's the one that came out first. You see the screen? That's going to be a no. So let's fix that. That is correct. So this is the Premiere magazine post. And if there's any French matrixologists out there, please let us know what the article says because I haven't seen what's in the article anywhere. But this was the first one I saw. And
well, I can translate what's under Matrix Resurrections.
What you got? I was
No,
gonna say
actually,
I thought you could see Trinity's necklace better here, but you really can't. But what were you gonna say? What were we gonna say that the caption says?
yeah. So there was a mission in the Matrix Online that had some of these words. So I knew the mission. So now I know the words. 20 years later, Lana Wachowski and Keanu Reeves. Oh, you got to zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, this isn't a picture. I don't know that I can. There's got to be a.
Well,
yeah.
I mean that's pretty much it. 20 years later.
Oh, here we go. Zoom tool. Is that better?
Yeah, Return to the Matrix.
Gotcha. I wonder if loosely translated that means re-enter the Matrix because that's on all the posters. All right, so then that one was first, and then this one was next. This is Fantastique, and now that's too big. So let's bring that down a little bit. All right, I want a little bit more.
I can't translate that one. But they're using the old Matrix font. They're not using the new one. No sunglasses.
Yeah, and like I said, if anybody gets a hand on these articles, please do share. I am curious to see what they talked about. I did read the Esquire interview with Keanu Reeves. Oh, right. But before we go to that, we got to check out the TV spots. And this was some Korean Matrix promo. So like posters and ads. I guess those are stickers, but there was like a bus. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if those are movie passes or. Right, there's the. Yeah, I don't know if that's just an ad bus or like a real bus. I couldn't really tell, but they got something with wheels decked out in Korean Matrix code, so that was cool. So are you ready for the TV spots then?
Oh yeah, ready.
Okay, so let's do this one first.
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Now that was the most recent one. I think I saw that.
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
I think I saw that during Monday Night Football, so that was nice to see. But it basically just says 1 month. I didn't notice anything new in there that wasn't in the official trailer. I mean, it's also only a 12-second spot. But the Matrix movie posted that yesterday now. Yeah, it's just that. But a few days ago, we saw these. Trying to remember which one. I think this one was first. So let's do this one.
Hi.
Have we met?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. Time to fly. The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me, no?
The Matrix Resurrections, rated R.
Now they're going to give us another one, but before we get into that one, was there anything you noticed in there that you didn't notice from the official trailer or dialogue or anything?
Yeah, there's a couple of different angles of shots. So we have Neo on the motorcycle, and he's throwing Source Hadoukens, and what else? There's a shot where they're in Simulate, and he is joining hands with Trinity, and now it shows Trinity straight on. So it's almost confirmation, even though you pretty much know if you look real close that they were kind of holding hands, and then they emit like a Source blast.
Yeah, that's that good old source push. Now the Simulate shot, that's another thing. Why I'm having, I guess, mixed feelings with Bugs being a Cypherite is that whole shot where now this is not in what we just saw, but it was in the trailer where Trinity screams, and Jessica Henwick is like in those, I guess shadow, or I don't know how you can describe that, like the digital copies of her, or however you want to word that. So
Yeah, kind of shadows of her.
yeah, it seems like there's some kind of behind the scenes connection to Trinity there. But then the other thing was, you mentioned in that scene, it also looked like there was a lot of light coming out of her when that source push thing was kind of happening and getting everybody off of them. So yeah, I did notice that. Let's go to the second of this post. There's also another post after this.
No one can be told what the Matrix is. You gotta see it to believe it. Time to fly. This is it. This is your last chance.
I never believed I was the one, but she did.
We were on our way to remake your world.
I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. Come on, Neo, fight!
The Matrix Resurrections, rated R.
Okay, so this is the one that has the line that I never believed I was the one, but she did. So that was dialogue in a shot that wasn't in the official trailer, and the shot is of Neo in the real world.
And
he's
got that odd device on his neck.
Right, he's got the device on his neck, and his eyes are already repaired. Now, the other shot that we saw him in the real world previously, his eyes were being repaired by the machines. So there's that. Then the other line is Trinity saying that we're going to rebuild your world.
Yeah, and it looks like they're in the analyst's or Neil Patrick Harris's office, and it's all busted up. You see, like the paint, the picture on Trinity's right is like crooked.
Now, yeah, you got into it with somebody. I don't remember where they were asking you about that line. But yeah, I do believe that he's saying that when he's talking about that, because we're getting it in a clip out of context. But if I had to guess, that Neo's talking about, the first Matrix movie, that he didn't believe that he was the one until after he was already dead, and he heard Trinity say that I love you and I know you're the one because I love you. You see what I'm saying? So I think he's talking about that. Yeah, after that he believes he's the one, but prior to that he didn't believe it at all. But Trinity did, and that's how he was convinced, I think, is what that means.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's pretty clear that he believes he's the one when he stops the bullets and destroys Smith and flies off into the sky. Also, in Reloaded, when he fights Seraph, he's like, I had to make sure that you were the one. And he's like, oh, you could have just asked. So, like, he's walking around with a popped collar like he's the one, and he's pretty confident in it.
Okay, I got it. Before we go on to the next set, I see this here. So hold on. Anyone else think that anyone will end up being Sarah Edmonton? I'm probably living in a pipe dream of Matrix Online, but I love that story. Yeah, so shout out to you being in the Matrix Online and being able to share that experience in real time. But yeah, that is such a MXO reference. That's why I had to address it. Most people do not have any idea what you're talking about. And that's why I don't think there's going to be any Sarah Edmonton's references directly in the Matrix Resurrections. I could be wrong about that. I will applaud any direct Matrix Online references that we can get. But you know, that story was never actually like flushed out or finished. So I'm just having a hard time seeing it, you know, translate to screen when we didn't even get an answer. Did you want to share any thoughts on that before we jump to the next series of TV spots?
Yeah, I'll just give a quick background on Sarah Edmonton's. There was a newspaper article that was found where a woman named Sarah Edmonton's woke up in a coma in a hospital and just walked right out of the hospital and went missing. And it was very, very much speculated that this was Neo. And on the
The
newspaper
reason,
clipping,
before you go on, the reason that it was speculated that this is Neo is because Sarah Edmonton's is an anagram for Thomas Anderson. If you unscramble the letters of her name, you can make it Thomas Anderson. I'm sorry, continue.
that is correct. And also, when the newspaper clipping was found, it was written in pen, like next to it, like, is this him? And I think it was supposed to imply that we were tracking Morpheus and we found that newspaper article. So he was like looking for Neo the whole time. But Sarah Edmonton's was brought up by a writer, not the main writer of the Matrix Online, who was comic book veteran Paul Chadwick, but somebody else. And when they left the project, all remaining developers were like, "That's pretty cool, but we're not going to touch that." So there's two things from the Matrix Online that gets referenced a lot pertaining to Resurrections, and that is the death of Morpheus, which we have video of, and Sarah Edmonton's, and it's like a deep cut, but it gets a lot of play.
Yeah. So the other thing I was gonna say about the Sarah Edmonton's thing, and this is, I guess, is more of a forum thing. I definitely saw people like speculating or wondering if she was like, you know, Trinity's unborn child and the machines like saved the baby and all this stuff. I don't know, because timeline wise, I mean, they would have had to do some Goliath manipulation of time to make that work. Not that they don't have the ability to, but um, yeah, I wasn't sure if I was buying into that angle. I mean, you know, Jessica Henwick saying she was Jess Wick didn't help, but yeah, okay. So to answer the question directly, if anybody's blue pill name is Sarah Edmonton's, it's going to be Jessica Henwick. How's that for an answer?
I would say that it's a possibility, although a very slight one, just because we see different characters in that shadow when Trinity screams. There's different Trinities within her. So I mean, it could be one of them. It could be somebody in, like, Neo could have like a similar, I don't know, makeup. I don't even know what to call it because I don't know what that is. But I'll just say, yeah, it's possible, just not likely.
Yeah, agreed. I am not counting on it. Was there anything else? Because this was the spot, like I said, that had the Neo with his repaired eyes and weird looking neck thing on. Was there anything else in that specific trailer spot or TV spot that you wanted to discuss before we went on to the next set?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think my favorite line in that is when Morpheus says, "Come on, Neo, fight." Really cool, and it's similar to Morpheus, but it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Even in the beginning of that first trailer, when he's like, you know, no one can be told what the Matrix is. He doesn't say you have to see it for yourself, like Lawrence Fishburne did. He says, something a little bit different. You have to see it to believe it. So it's similar to Morpheus, but it's a little bit different. So keep that in mind. If this Morpheus character is anything like the Morpheus simulacra from the Matrix Online, it'll be similar, but just not right.
Yeah, this comment says by the setting, it seems like new Morpheus is trying to teach Neo his kung fu again. My kind of feeling is almost like he's just trying to force him to remember. So I guess we're saying the same thing two different ways, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that scene plays out. And also, you know, this time instead of, you know, stop trying to hit me and hit me, it's stop trying to hit me and source push me. So and that was another one with a lot of bright light in it. And that's why I wanted to show those I mean, we're showing them in order, but I wanted to show that first because now we're going to move on to the next set.
Well, they go through a lot of traffic, and he's source crushing everything with those Hadoukens, and we don't see that in the first one. There is one where there was a question whether he crushes the car or if somebody falls on it. We do see somebody fall on a car, and then we see him source crush a car, and I think that they're gonna like jump over the car with the motorbike.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So again, there's 2 back-to-back TV spots in this Twitter post. So I'm going to try to pause it in between so we can do them one at a time.
Hi.
Have we met?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Time to fly. The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up.
You don't know me.
No?
The Matrix Resurrections, rated R.
Okay. So what jumped out at you in that one? Was there any new dialogue or anything?
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything specific to this one that wasn't in anything else.
Right. It's the second one of this one that has stuff that's new, I think. Yeah, good call. Before we go on to the second one, I saw that. Attention Span Zero said, I'm still wondering what exactly they did with Trinity's body and how she is here and alive again. This is going to be so interesting. Now, explaining how she's back in the Matrix Resurrections, we don't know yet because we haven't seen the movie. But what the machines did with her body is actually told to us in the Matrix Online. Like Vesuvius said, you got to watch the Assassins video. All the details and receipts are in that video. So, yeah, crazy that we found that. Remember where you heard it first, because I don't know that anybody else talked about that, at least not before we did. So,
Oh, they're
rare
still not
gem.
talking about it.
Yeah, that's a rare
Nobody's talking
gem.
about it. It is a super deep cut. I mean, I had all the pieces in front of me, just not together. And you put them together, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Well, no, I gotta shout out Star Schwar and who else posted? Somebody else posted in the Discord. I can't even take credit for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you put it together like that in that package. But yeah, Star Schwar,
like I said,
is-
Star Schwar brought it up in your podcast, in the original Matrix 4 podcast, and we just never circled back to it. But he brought it up.
Oh, it's such a cool detail. It's so gratifying if you play the Matrix Online that when I'm on Twitter and people are like, "Oh, nobody cares about a dead game." It's like, dude, you have no idea that the relevance of the game and the story.
Yeah, no, like I said, at the very least, at this point, I've seen enough to know that there's at least influences, there's at least inspiration from the Matrix Online that we're going to see in Resurrections. If we get specific references like the assassin or Sarah Edmonton's, that's yet to be determined, and I doubt it. But for those of us who remember the story, for those of us who played, there's going to be nods, there's going to be little stuff here and there, there's going to be meta. But let's go on to this next TV spot real quick.
Nobody's going to be able to pick up on it except for us.
No one can be told what the Matrix is. You gotta see it to believe it. Time to fly. This is it. This is your last chance.
I never believed I was the one, but she did.
We were on our way to remake your wound.
I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. Come on, Neo, fight!
The Matrix Resurrections, rated R.
Okay, so what was new in that one?
Oh man, I don't know. Was it in one of the other ones where they're in an explosion and they lock hands?
I think that was the end of that one.
Yeah. So, dude, that's big. So when they combine powers, when they are close or they engage, they like their powers unlock. So there's always like some dialogue that, well, they're two halves to a whole, and I think that that's going to be front and center in this movie.
Oh, that thing I was saying in the Holy Trinity video, that like most theories about Neo's powers are, they have a lack of Trinity.
Very well put. Yes, Trinity is the secret to Neo's powers, and I think now we're going to see that Neo is probably um, some background for Trinity's powers, and it's not new politics or anything. This stuff has been in the Matrix from the beginning.
Um, there is something that I saw here that might have been in one of the earlier trailers or red pill, blue pill teasers, but it's definitely in one of these. So it might not be new, but I don't think we discussed it in this way. And again, shout out to Starshore because I think he brought it up. I'm pretty sure it's in one of these. I'm just gonna let it play
Have we
again.
met?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Time to fly. The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up.
You don't know me.
No?
The Matrix Resurrections. Rated R.
No one can be told what the Matrix is. You gotta see it to believe it. Time to fly. This is it. This is your last chance.
I never believed I was the one, but she did.
We were on our way to remake your world.
I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. Come on, Neo, fight!
The Matrix Resurrections.
Didn't see it. It must be in this one, and I just must have maybe looked off.
So in that one, we see Trinity's posture possibly flying. Also, we see, there's something that happens in that fight with, I think, Jonathan Groff that is a little bit different. And there's something interesting in the background. I don't know what it is. It looks like it's gold. I can't even tell you what the object is, but I see it somewhere else, and it's either in the analyst's office or in Jonathan Groff's office. It's in the background. I would have to pull those together, but there's something strange.
Yeah, the shot that I'm looking for wasn't in either one of those TV spots. So I'm just gonna see if I can find a still frame of it. Yeah, found it.
Oh, and we see Neo stand up on the back of her bike, and I think we see it in like some behind the scenes footage that's been out and making the rounds.
So this shot here is in it's in one of the most recent trailers or TV spots. It wasn't one of the ones we just saw, but I definitely saw it quickly. And here, the reason why I think this is important is because that's obviously a hovercraft, right?
Yeah, that's a hovercraft.
Right. Is it just me or is that sunlight?
It could be. I think it could be. I think Sati's doing what I think she's doing.
So I think this could be like big as far as what's going on here. If we're assuming that that's the Nemesis and that they're actually in the real world and not inside a Matrix, and the blue theme would lead me to believe that they're in the real world. Yeah, I'm looking at some sunlight peeking in, so I'm wondering where they're flying and where's that dark storm, baby?
Yeah, it looks like they are trying to clear the sky and retake the surface, which is something Morpheus hinted at in one of the cinematics for the Matrix Online.
Which cinematic is that?
I think it's 1.2 when he goes to see the Oracle and she gives him a cookie.
Okay.
But he was also talking about setting off nuclear bombs in the Matrix and destroying it. And then, yeah, I mean, the survivors will just have to try and retake the surface and rebuild. A little disturbing.
Yeah, no, he was out of his gourd a little bit there. But speaking of Matrix Online storylines, Rayvon might get a kick out of this. There was a conversation that came up on Twitter about Ghost. Red Queen Trinity said we don't talk about him enough, talking about Ghost. And I mentioned that Ghost mostly got to shine in Enter the Matrix, and then you chimed in and said, well, he had some moments in MXO, and one of those moments, the biggest one that you mentioned, was that Ghost was the one to identify Trinity's return. And when you reminded me of that, it reminded me of when it happened. I was, thinking like, okay, this is definitely a callback to the scene where Trinity and Ghost are in the Stone Garden sparring in Enter the Matrix. Again, he mostly got to shine in Enter the Matrix, but yeah, that was one of the cutscenes, and I mentioned that that's the scene that I thought probably inspired Ghost being the one to find Trinity. And then Rarebit himself came in and chimed in and did confirm. Well, he said there wasn't enough Ghost in the movies to get any sense of personality for him. It was necessary to delve into the ETM scenes. So I interpreted that to mean that, yeah, that was a callback to, the unique friendship that they had, which I thought was
So
pretty cool.
from Enter the Matrix, we learned that they were actually awakened on the same day, and he fell in love with her, but she looked at him as like a brother. So since they were kind of born on the same day, or freed on the same day, so he wound up just living a life of celibacy because he knew that he was not the one, and that she would love the one.
Right. And then Trinity says, we got to get you a girlfriend. And he's like, yeah, I'm good. Now, of course, that was before he hooked up with Pace, but that's here or there, I guess. Well, Pace initiated that though, right? It's not like he kissed her. Am I mixing stories here? I don't know. I think that's how it went. Did we lose you, V?
I think so. I just put into the chat that I might be having connection issues. So I heard that you said, we got to find you a girlfriend. That was the last thing I heard.
No, I said that all that happened before he hooked up with Pace.
Oh, well, he didn't hook up with Pace. Did you give a background on Pace?
I did not. As I said, she kissed him, right? Am I remembering that wrong?
I don't think that she did. No, she tried to engage with him, and he basically like face palmed her. So Agent Pace was like a sexy female agent, and she was supposed to be like the next evolution of Agent, just as strong, but appealed to humans in a different way. And she was actually she wasn't a prototype, but we were introduced to a couple of prototypes of Agent Pace.
Now, another thing I found here in between the posters, Warner posted, I guess Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are doing, that kind of interview tour to post the to promote the film rather, and they posted that there was an Esquire interview with Keanu Reeves. Now, of course, he didn't say much. You know how that goes. But I guess like part of the theme of this interview was while they were interviewing, Keanu was scrolling through his text messages because he had sent Carrie-Anne Moss like a list of movies to recommend to watch or whatever. So after he finally found it, and here's the list of films, if you can see that. Some of them I've actually seen and like. But here, I guess they asked him if we were going to pick 3 movies to describe Keanu Reeves, which 3 would he pick? It says he's made 68 movies, every genre: A Walk in the Clouds, World War II romance, Constantine, supernatural demon stuff, Bill and Ted's Face the Music, Dudes at 50. If he met someone who had never heard of him, never seen one of his movies, and wanted to get to know him, which 3 would he tell that person to start with? What is the Keanu primer? And Keanu says, quote, getting to know me or getting to know my work. Because if you're getting to know me, he says, considering this, I guess you could do it through my work. He frowns, thinking, you're going to give me 3. Okay, 3 films. Man. Long pause. Oh my gosh, 3 films. Okay, let's just start with The Matrix. And when I say The Matrix, let's do the trilogy. That's 1. Pause. Then he said Devil's Advocate and Point Break. But my point is that even
Devil's
Keanu
Advocate
Reeves,
was good.
yeah, can't go wrong with Pacino as a villain. But my point of the reason why I'm reading this is because even Keanu Reeves himself considers the Matrix trilogy 1 film.
Yeah, 1 story, and it does end.
Right. But, I mean, I've always not always, but at least on this channel, I've described, the arcing experience, the design of Reloaded and Revolutions. And, it's mostly pushed back to those who hate the sequels. And but yeah, it's 1 journey, it's 1 story, it's by design. But yeah, that was it. I mean, he didn't really, like I said, that they can't really talk Matrix. So that was really the only thing in there that was like super Matrix related, I think.
I just want to take like Neo's action scenes and just take like some Duke Kaboom, like his character from Toy Story, I think Toy Story 4, where he's doing all the stupid poses on the bike. He's like, just like, put that to all his fight scenes.
Okay, was there any other news updates that happened between now and our last live stream? We went over the posters, the TV spots. This thing, I feel like there's 1 TV spot missing, because I definitely saw that real world scene of the Nemesis or whatever hovercraft that is in the real world. I feel like that was in a spot somewhere. That might have been on the one that was posted by the Matrix movie, not the 12-second spot, but I think they posted like a different one, a longer one earlier.
Yeah, they're all starting to blur together.
Yeah, man, we got a lot in a short amount of time. Yeah, that's the 12-second spot. Oh, I'm looking for it. Okay, did I find? Okay, fine. Okay.
Hey Rayvon, is Man of Tai Chi, is that good? Because I just found out about it, and if I have time, I want to watch it.
Okay, so we did talk about this in the last live stream, but since we talked about it, this did happen.
This isn't an illusion. This isn't a simulation. This is an opportunity to step into the Matrix and get heard. Your original music could be featured in the Matrix Resurrections campaign. The resources are in place, the paths are defined, and don't miss the Matrix Resurrections in theaters and on HBO Max. The choice is yours. This isn't an illusion.
Okay, so like I said, we talked about the contest last time, but since then, Yaya is in this ad promoting it. I thought it was cute that he says this is an illusion or a simulation. It's like, yeah, but you are. It's like I see what you guys did there, but I'm not falling for it. So yeah, if you're interested in that, the deadline is in 5 days. You have to submit by November 28th. I don't know specifically how they're going to use said selected music. I'm guessing they're only picking one song. The fine print is too small for me to read it, so I can't tell you all the details. But unitedmasters.com/exclusives is the link they provided.
Well, I wish that I could compose music. It's just not a talent that I have.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was looking for something else.
Well, in that little commercial, he says the choice is yours. And that's actually a direct quote to Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus. It was from Enter the Matrix, but I put a little something out there on my YouTube and my Instagram about that. Tried to tease it the day before and say, oh, this is a direct quote from Mr. Fishburne's Morpheus.
Well, another thing you did put up, I'm going to put this on the screen. Is my screen sharing? No. Here, which I thought was really cool, and thank you for making this. I love the red code energy. It's a Project Matriculated poster. While all the poster drops were flying, you snuck this in there. It says Project Matriculated 12/22/21 Club Vibe, Riverdale, New Jersey, cosplay premiere party at Vibe. And I have been doing nothing but making sure that that's right for everybody. That's basically been most of my days is Project Matriculated right now, between that and the last couple of back and forths with the post. But yeah, it's just really, I mean, I can't even describe into words how excited I am for December 22nd. Not just for the Resurrections, but for Beyond the Glitch. It's a lot for one day. It's going to be a very intense day for me personally, but wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it'll be a good payoff. Sit down and check out your fan film finally. How are you doing on that? Is it just about done?
That's what I mean. Like right now, we're at the point where like I'm waiting for one thing, and then I go in, make those last changes, and then it is done, like really done, which is just crazy to think about. But yeah, oh right, this is unofficial. This is not, we haven't seen an official post yet, but I'm just going off of what I've seen from Dune, and I think King Richard is the Will Smith movie. But it seems to be a theme where the HBO Max releases like the big movie titles that are doing the 30 days of simultaneous HBO Max and theatrical release. I think you can't watch it until 6 p.m. that day. I think it like premieres on streaming at 6 p.m. I don't think it's a midnight stream thing.
Well, how is that going to work across time zones? Do we know?
I don't. And honestly, I mean, we've seen, aren't they premiering it in France like a few days earlier? Like, I definitely feel like I saw maybe Berlin, or maybe that's just like their premiere, like the official premiere, like the big party premiere with Lana and like all the important folk. But I definitely saw dates before December 22nd overseas somewhere. I know I saw that.
I think the earliest like official release that I saw was either the 14th or the 15th. I thought that was like super early, and that was in I think Spain, but somewhere in Europe.
See, I thought it was France, but either way, like I think a lot of people in the States don't realize like HBO Max is not all through Europe like that. There's like very, very few places that have it. And it's not the majors either. It's not like the UK or Spain, you know what I'm saying? So if they do a premiere screening or whatever, that's not exactly public. It's not, streamed. So we'll see how it plays out. And like I said, I don't know if those are just like dates for like the official premiere party or if that's when their movie theaters have it out. Because if that's when their movie theaters have it out, it's going to be bootlegged before it's on HBO Max. You know what I mean?
Well, you say that, but some of these latest movies, the big ones, they haven't been making the rounds on the torrent scene. So my source told me. But I did want to say about the premiere. I believe that they're having a premiere in San Francisco. Isn't there one on the 15th that you were considering going to?
Also, well, I'm not going, but
Considered.
I saw it. I was not invited. But yeah, I do believe that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that's the real one, like, or rather the one that, like Lana and actors will be at, like what's that, the Chinese theater kind of big
And
deal
Chinese
premiere.
theater.
Yeah, like I think that's the date for that. Real quick here, Charisma says I have HBO Max in Denmark, but we don't get the same premiere dates. Interesting. Do you know when? Like, do you know if you're gonna have the 22nd for Resurrections in Denmark, or do you have they announced what date they're gonna start showing it over there?
One thing that we didn't mention was on those other posters, it said only in cinemas. So I started writing like, oh, what's this about? And they're like, yeah, overseas they're not doing the HBO Max. Well, what they said was they don't have HBO Max, but clearly they do, and it's probably just a dual release for United States.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that I've heard people in the UK say that they don't have HBO Max. Now, Warner UK only posted one of those posters, though. I don't know if they have HBO Max in India, but India got two, or got to release two posters.
Hey, that's an interesting question. Are people that are international, what are you going to do for your first viewing of The Matrix Resurrections?
Well, they don't have a choice for it. They got to go to the theater.
Well, Varuna just says he's going to VPN it.
Gotcha. For the HBO Max subscription, yeah. Interesting.
So if it's 6 p.m., where does that put us?
As far as Project Matriculated?
Yeah.
Yeah, the party's going to start at 8:30. I'll put it that way.
Just enough time.
Yeah.
Just enough time to get a viewing.
That's what we call a squeaker in the business.
So Varuna is going to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to
Day
highlight
will
this.
be. Go ahead.
First day will be back to back in the theaters, and then see it via HBO Max at home. Good answer. Good answer. Good answer. So, are there any projects that you're working on over there in your lab? Anything you got cooking?
Well, I got a couple of things on the back burner. I've got my combat analysis video on the back burner, but I think I'm going to get back into that. So one of the criticisms that I hear about the sequels is that, since Neo's overpowered, that the fight scenes don't mean anything. And like Morpheus says, nothing could be further from the truth.
Yeah, I've heard that take before, and I definitely disagree with it. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's like, what are you even talking about? Like, I can see the first one where he just beats up 3 agents, but that's to show how powerful he's become. I mean, he's literally fighting with his hands behind his back. And then we learn that the agents are upgraded. Okay, so there's a contrast from his fight from Agent Smith, and now we learn that he's got some upgraded agents, which means when Morpheus fights, Agent Johnson, he is in some serious shit because he got completely destroyed by Smith in part 1. And then the other example I'll use is the Seraph fight. We learn that Seraph and Neo are basically equals when it comes to combat. And the reason that matters is the grand finale of the entire trilogy. That's all I'll say for that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about the grand finale, I mean, and this is what I was going to say. I mean, so the fight itself is in Revolutions, but Neo goes into that with the thought from the conversation at the end of Reloaded with the architect, where he pretty much tells him, or rather the balance or the future of the entire human race depends on your success or failure. So to me, you can't tell me there's no stakes when the architect tells him if you choose wrong or lose, everybody dies. But Charisma says the theatrical release here is December 22nd. I don't know what time. Right. When it comes to theatrical releases, at least here in the States, I mean, it's, whenever the movie theater opens. So in some cases, you might get a movie theater that'll do a midnight release. That's usually not the norm, but it can happen. For a film like this, prior to the pandemic, I would say that, check the locations of who's having one, because somebody would have had it. In these times, who knows if anybody's doing a midnight release. But yeah, you can probably catch it in a matinee if you want to go early. But I don't know if it's different in your country.
So I'm going to Google this right now. HBO Max. Movie premiere time, I guess. I hope I spelled premiere right in that poster. By the way, I have a nice story about that poster.
Okay. Is the story about the actual image from MXO?
Yes, it is.
Haha.
So back in the day, we got a new community manager because when Walrus got kicked up to a higher position and started working on the Agency, which was a game that I think didn't quite make it out. But anyway, he was replaced by Paul Williams Virago, who was our new communities manager, and he started doing actual interaction with the community, which was like unheard of at the time. But one of the things he did was he would give you like a forum status. If like he would pick somebody who submitted like an unedited screenshot, and then they would get like a forum status. So it was like, it was like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
So I went in and I freeze from this pose, shooting that SMG upside down in one of the exile hideouts. And of course, I go right to Photoshop and edited it and then submitted it. And that's one of my favorite screenshots. I even had a title for it, Graceful Aggression. So when I saw all of the character posters, I was like, oh, I need my character poster. And then I started doing the fonts and everything. And I was like, if people take a second look at this, because it's in the vein of the other posters, I'll throw Project Matriculated on there. And I think I tagged New Jersey cosplayers in there. So please share this stuff if you are on Twitter, because everything helps.
Yeah, share it wherever you can. I mean, like it's a good look. I really appreciate you taking the time to make it. But it looks awesome.
The bad thing, at least I really like the screenshot. However, the graphics just don't age well, because everything nowadays is such a higher resolution that, it looked really cool in 2008, 2009. But now it's, you got to work hard to make it look good.
Yeah, no, I'm loving the red code energy. It's very relevant as we, celebrate with fellow red pills. So yeah, I would count the video wall as a theater, but I don't want to go too deep into that. Rick says it's criminal to not experience the Matrix Resurrections in the theaters before HBO Max. You will be arrested. That's great.
I will see it in the theaters. I will probably not see it in the theaters until after New Year's, but I will see it in theaters, all in due time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think we might have covered everything that I wanted to touch on tonight. But again, yes, if you are planning on coming to Project Matriculated, or if you haven't already, the tickets are on sale in eventbrite.com. We've got links in the description of this video and most videos, links on Twitter. Make sure you're following Vesuvius and I on Twitter at NeoMatrixology and at VesuviusMXO, so you don't miss any news updates. As like I said, as the posters were coming out, we were retweeting. I was on it until today's round of 8, but Vesuvius has been on it the whole ride. So like I said, if you're following both of us, you won't miss anything. At least not anything official. I mean, you might miss some random, Reddit theory, but the official stuff, like I said, between the two of us, we got you covered. But as always, thank you for everybody who's tagging me and stuff and keeping me informed. Please keep that coming. I don't want to miss anything. I appreciate all that. Shout out to Randy. Randy tags me in a lot of stuff. He's not here tonight, but he's one of our mods, and he's been doing his best to keep me up to date on all the poster drops and stuff. So shout out to you, Randy, and shout out to everybody who's helped crowdsource the information here. You guys are always appreciated. Bring more of that Matrix hardcore fan community energy to Matrix University. We need it. It's what makes everything go round here, especially right now where, the hype bullet train is going at 300 miles an hour. There's no time to stop. You just got to get on and take the ride. And we are at less than a month, 29 days until the Matrix Resurrections premieres to the general public. Like we said, there's going to be some earlier dates somewhere. I'm not sure if those are just premiere dates for specific crowds, insiders, Hollywooders, or if some of those countries are going to get the theatrical release a little early. We'll see. If any information comes out between those dates and the Resurrections general population date of December 22nd, I'm sure there will be informational leaks online, and I'm sure either I or Vesuvius or both of us will be all over it. But yeah, like I said, do not hesitate to tag us and share things with us if you see them. Because like LZ said when he came in here, we've been getting updates and new promotional materials pretty much every day. So if that was the past week, I'm guessing it's only going to ramp up over the next 3 or 4. Or between 3 and 4. I mean, we are literally less than 4 weeks away from this moment that we have all been patiently waiting for. And that is the premiere of The Matrix 4, The Matrix Resurrections. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get done with this Matrix comic series between now and then. Almost there.
Yeah, and I'm loving them, so I appreciate it. I got the 20th anniversary comic book hardcover. I use it as like a reference. I just haven't sat and read it. Like a lot of my spare time, I try and do like content creation, and I'm not like I don't have like a system down yet. Like I remember talking about this like a year and a half, 2 years ago, trying to like pick your brain. But it's coming, and I like to sit down and watch a 4 or 6 minute video, then have to find a quiet spot and open up the book again.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy that I got that book, the 20th anniversary edition. But yeah, some Matrix comics are more relevant than others. But it's just interesting to me, reading through it to review it or narrate it or however you want to word what that playlist is. Because when I first got the book, maybe we were like 6 to 9 months in with me, doing this channel regularly and the Matrix Resurrections being announced and all that stuff. So, I read all the comics then. I had read them before. I had series 1 and 2 before, but I read them then because I bought the book. And it's just crazy to me how much more I notice now after being like just surrounded and drowned in Matrix Universe content for 2 years now. And like when I read it now, like stuff just jumps off at the page at me. And it's not necessarily like the most deep connection or, some plot twist that nobody noticed before all the time. I mean, it happens every now and then, but for the comics, not as much. But still, just the little subtleties and the little callbacks to stuff in the films or other Matrix media, stuff that, like I said, that I just didn't notice in the first or second read. So that part of it has been fun. And then, like I said, I'm almost done with them. But at the pace that I'm going right now, the plan is to be done, before the Matrix Resurrections premieres. So that way, if anybody who has seen the movie and is looking for other Matrix universe content is like, well, what happened there? What happened in the comics? That hopefully that they'll all be there around that same time. Hopefully. Oh, right. And also I just wanted to shout out your audiobook too, because I was a fan, and people can find that on your Etsy page, right?
Yes, the Kid Next Door. So it's like a Matrix universe story. It doesn't name any characters directly, but it's a nice little Matrix story that I wrote a long time ago and felt compelled to put a little spin on it. So I liked the audiobook that I did with the Matrix Online, but I didn't want to do the robot voice. So I had my daughter, who wants to get into voice acting and do some voiceover work. So this is her first work, and we worked on it together. It was a lot of fun. It was harder than we thought, but
It always is.
I think it's a good product, worth the endeavor.
Yeah, no,
and that's for sale on my Etsy for $2 digital download.
I'll say, yeah, the price point is more than fair. And she did a great job. What I was going to say is, well, we got this comment here. Varuna says they sold out the 20th anniversary book. Hope they re-release it soon. Now, weren't you telling me something about they're printing more?
So I had heard that somebody else ordered it, and they sold out before they shipped them their copy. So they're kind of SOL. That second printing has been sold out.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that they sold out again. That's crazy. I would have bought 2 if I would have known it was going to play like that. Interesting. Because I still have my Series 1 and Series 2, the paperbacks. But, the glue, that didn't age well.
Yeah. No, it didn't age well in the first year.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm afraid, like, I don't want to touch them anymore because I'm afraid they're going to fall apart. Ricky Stevens says, anyone know whether or not the glass bottles with the green cheat code liquid that features in the Matrix Online will feature in Resurrections? And how much will the general feature? Love the channel. So, right, he's talking about the cheat codes. That's like Chadwick's last storyline, right?
That was his first or his last full storyline, and yeah. I don't see anything that jumps out at me for the cheat codes.
Well, there is the guy in the trailer that has the code eyes.
Yes, but it's I don't think it's as a result of this. However, see, the whole thing with the cheat codes is that they were for programs, and the Red Pills got a hold of them, and they misused them, so their powers were a little diluted. Like, they literally diluted them, so they had some adverse effects, and they were supposed to be a relic from an old version of the Matrix and reveal who was coveting power. And that's exactly what they did. They revealed who was coveting more power. And that led to more strains on the truce between the machines and humans, because, of course, it was a red pill that thirsted for that power. So it was an important story, even though it wasn't a great story. It was important because it stressed the truce, and it caused dissension between humans and machines.
Now, to answer the question specifically, like you said, I don't know that we're going to get a direct reference or dialogue line to point to the cheat codes, just like I would say the same for the general. While we have heard telephone game leaks that this version of Morpheus is a, quote, codex, which I like always just say Morpheus Sim because that's what we got in the Matrix Online. I don't think that this is the Morpheus sim that the General created. I think they're going to give him a different point of creation if this version of Morpheus that we see in the Matrix Resurrections is in fact a Morpheus sim or codex or simulacra or whatever word you want to say for a digital version or digital creation. So yeah, I don't think that the General is going to be referenced by name. Before we knew that Neil Patrick Harris was the analyst, I thought he had the best shot at playing a general playing the General if the General was in fact in the Matrix Resurrections. But it's looking like that's not going to be how it plays out. Did we ever confirm what Max Reimelt's role was? No, right? And he's not on a poster either, so he's not a major character, but
No, but we saw a little bit of behind the scenes with Max Ramel in the interview.
the interview, right?
Yeah, it was our first look at Jado as Niobe as well. But he looked to be Red Pill. He had like that earpiece that they had.
So real quick, I see this comment here that says, back in the day, I was super into the lore and the philosophy, but never played the MMO. Well, if you have PC, you can go to mxemu.info and install the emulator. And yeah, it's not the complete game. There's no missions right now. There's no combat, but you can at least explore the environment. So that's always a good time. If you have Mac, there's a way to do it, install on Mac, but I don't know that at all. You'd have to ask one of the MacBook Pros on how they got it to talk to.
Oh, I can help with that.
Yeah, actually, you might want to make a tutorial video for that.
I don't have a Mac. I can't make a tutorial. But I can send you to the right guy. We actually played Matrix Online with somebody who was in the Furious Angels. The Furious Angels were like a huge faction. And today that man owns a company, and I think it's called VMware. And what their VMware software does is it speaks. So if you install VM software on a Mac, you can run PC only software on it, like the Matrix Online, and I believe vice versa. So it's, I don't know, a portal maybe, but VMware.com.
Welcome.
Check it out.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was gonna say you might want to get with somebody who has done it or can do it, and see if you can like screen record them doing it and make a video out of it. It'd be worth uploading that, because I know nobody's uploaded that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that it'd get crazy views, but it'd be one of a kind. I'll put it that way. I wanted to try to. All right, we're live right now. Let's see if it'll let me. There we go. All right. Well, I think this was a good session here. We covered a lot of posters in a short amount of time. Right, because we're approaching the 2-hour mark here. We'll take a couple more comments. He says, I wondered if the General might be the person who is pointing a gun at Neo in the Resurrections trailer. We talked about that a little earlier. VM Fusion or Parallels or Bootcamp allow Windows to run on Mac. Yeah, you said it's Fusion, if anybody's curious about that. Yeah, so Vesuvius and I both think that it's the Jonathan Groff character pointing the gun at Neo. Of course, we could be wrong. And of course, the leak intel could be wrong. But based on what we've heard, Jonathan Groff is playing some form of an agent. Whether or not there's some Smith in there or not is yet to be seen or proven. But yeah, we are less than 30 days in before the Matrix Resurrections is a live and released thing. I am looking forward to it. I know you guys are looking forward to it. If you haven't already, please like the stream. Again, tickets to Project Matriculated are on sale right now. So if you're looking for a face reveal for me and Vesuvius, that's the opportunity. That is the Matrix online meetup. That is the Matrix themed cosplay party. That is the premiere of the Matrix short fan film Beyond the Glitch. We've got all these things bundled up in one big old epic party. So yeah, I can't wait to see some of you guys there. And class is dismissed.